Your organisation runs training courses for your staff and customers. Only problem is it's time-consuming, inconvenient and costly. Take a leaf out of our book. The School of Hard Knock Knocks uses the online training platform by YZ, and our team and customers love it. It's simple to use, supports every media format, audio, video, text, and looks great on desktops, tablets and mobiles. And for a limited time, quote SHKK when you arrange a demo and get 10% off your first year's plan. YZ helps us deliver comedy courses around the world. Imagine what it could do for your organisation. YZ, that's WYZED.com. YZ, online learning made simple.
You're listening to the School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast with me, Steve Davis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian.
Shouldn't drink on an empty head, you know that, don't you?
That is the shittiest heckle I have ever heard in my life.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
What's a bucket list?
You have dangerously underprepared yourself for the shit that is about to get real.
Mickey D, aka Mick Dwyer, was a broke 17-year-old when he stepped up on stage at Raw Comedy. Since then, he's toured the world, conquered the UK, and been trained by the SAS. Yeah, Mick is one dangerous comedian. In this School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast, host Steve Davis talks to Mick about how he energises a room and how exhaustion helped him find his Liverpool voice. You'll also find out whether stand-up comedy is more challenging than training with the SAS, how to be a performer and a parent, and advice for up-and-coming stand-up comedians. And if you'd like to try stand-up comedy and meet Mickey D in person, here's your chance. Mickey D is our guest comedy coach at the August 25 to 29 stand-up comedy course in Adelaide. Go to www.schoolofhardknockknocks.com for more information. And now, here he is, Mickey D.
So from Adelaide, moved to Birmingham. I lived in Birmingham for a long time. That's how they talk in Birmingham. Do you know what my neighbour said to me before I left? Because I bloody don't. I have no idea. I think it was a noise, you know? That's the best I could give you, is a noise. And I was the only person on the street, so I had to participate. I'm like, oh, this one's for me. Right. Here's the noise, see if you can decode it. And I tried my best. He's looked at me, he's gone, you do it. Now, I'm a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. I am. I've got all his cassettes, mate, but I had no idea what that noise... I didn't know if it was a warning. I didn't know if it was a greeting. There were no other trains. Then, to his credit, he slowed it right down. Whales were beaching themselves. It was But that's the greeting. It's the British greeting. Are you all right? Isn't it? Are you all right? First thing you say to someone when you see him in the UK, are you all right? In Australia, it's, how you going? Because there's a few different things. Yeah, pretty good, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. Shit house. You know, whatever, you know, the answer. You know. But in the UK, people are so used to things being shit that the first thing someone says to someone else when they see him is, are you all right?
Mickey D, welcome to the School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast.
Thanks very much for having me, mate.
I've got to get one thing sorted.
Yeah.
Mick Dwyer, Mickey D, what do you prefer? I don't want to upset you.
I don't know. It's a bit of a mix. I'm not going to go just draw a symbol like Prince did at that stage. Look, Mick's good. Mickey. It's just when people just randomly call me Mickey D when I'm not in a comedy club, it feels weird.
Right.
You know, hey, Mickey D, how you doing? So I'm just about to go for a run with you, mate. I'm not going to do any jokes, but anything. I'm just happy to be here.
Now, talking of here, we normally try and record at your home or over the phone, but here we are in an OTR. Now, for people around Australia, this is called On The Run. It's a chain of service stations, and you love them, don't you?
I'm just gobsmacked every time I go into a new outlet. Do you remember how it would feel when you go and visit your cousins in Melbourne and you go to 7-Eleven back in the 80s and this is a new world. It's like they've found that world, taken us back there in a time machine and just put more stuff. Seriously, look, it'd be Tourism SA should hook in with these people because you've got everything. I'm having my 40th
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah,
So,
look, it started off as a joke on stage. You know, I'd say OTR, on the run, all-night service station. They've got everything, you know. And the one nearest my house has a gym upstairs, a Portuguese chicken shack out the back, a Subway. You get your coffee, you get your Barossa fine meats, you get your, you know, anything you want there. Nappies, the whole lot. I'm going to have my 40th there. And you know what? If you listen to this before November the 12th, 2019, do come. It's a Tuesday night. We're all going to have a bit of a flash mob.
that is fantastic. And that one near you has got quite a bit of space out in the car park area too. So
if it was an outdoor Prodigy concert, we could probably get about 5,000 people out there. Or, you know, have a mosh pit, see if we can block all 5 Bowsers.
now, is this something that's intrinsic in you, or is the thinking about doing your 40th there, has that come from the comedy pathway? And this is an extension of that. Where do we separate the Mick from the taking the Mick?
Well, you know, I think it was. It's a nice way to still celebrate my 40th because I don't want to party as such, but I do want to mark the occasion.
Yeah.
So I think this is the best of both worlds, to get everyone all together in the same spot, to give the milestone a nod, but then celebrate it privately, another day down the track. But I think it started off as a joke, you know, because it's a funny place to have your 21st, and I thought, no, let's see if we can pull some people together and make it an occasion.
And if they don't like it, you'll end up on the run yourself for the rest of your life.
Look, I can go too. That's the thing.
Oh.
I'm pretty fast for a portly bloke.
Actually, yeah, we're coming to that in just a moment.
Really?
But let's go right back though.
Yeah.
First, stepping on stage, doing some comedy. In that mix was a raw comedy event. You were 17, I'm told. You were broke. What got you interested in stepping on stage and doing what many people think is one of the most fear-inspiring things ever?
Yeah, it is. A lot of people do find talking, to an audience terrifying. I grew up in pubs, so I was used to adults. I had to hold my ground because the pub was on an army base. So, I saw a lot of things early. But and I went to a lot of different schools. So that whole kind of, mum and dad were publicans. We moved around quite a bit. So I learned how to protect myself by making friends and making jokes. And then when it came end of high school, I went straight on stage. I worked at KFC, so I was as good as broke.
Yeah.
And it was just before the Raw Comedy 1998. I got a bit of stage time under my belt, and it all went on from there.
What do you remember of stepping on stage for your first Raw Comedy heat?
I remember being on directly after Craig Egan, right, who was the best man at my wedding.
Oh, really?
Turns out in the end, good bloke. I'd use him again.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
you're not signalling anything there.
No, that was a joke I did at my reception, and I think it just, it's nice to know that joke carries on. It wasn't just a topical joke. But no, Craig went on before me, back when he was doing stand-up, and did. I remember it vividly. I was really nervous. But then Craig went on and did a remix of Men in Black, which was a remix of Sending You Forget-Me-Nots. So it was a copy of a copy. So, but he did, it was the comic rap.
Wow.
Here comes the comic rap. And I'm like, okay. So the music relaxed me. I like a bit of rap. And I thought, okay, I reckon I can take it up a notch from there. And it relaxed me.
Now, that's the mindset, isn't it? Because I saw you this week, you were emceeing at the Rhino Room, which is Craig's room, and you stepped on stage and you just looked the audience in the eye, and there's this nuggety sense of someone who's gone out almost ready for a street brawl, not with any violence, but just that game, stare it down and just have fun and just address them. Is that part of what helps you with your success in comedy?
Well, yeah, you got to get in. You got to get in the room. You can't just be a street. That's the way I feel anyway. You've got to get in the room and be on the same page as the people you're there. You want to celebrate the same context and you've got to create that as a team. So personally, I like to pivot off something, what kind of energy it is, whether it is, it can be a brawling energy, it can be like, I can rant happy as well. So, we can, try to rev people up, whatever it is to get us all bound together. But also got to hold your ground and show them that, I've got this. You're going to be. The audience needs to be assured that you're capable, you're in control, and at least you haven't been funny yet, but at least you will be at some stage.
Yeah, Greg Fleet's mentioned that in a previous chat we've had, is they want to know that you're confident within yourself. They don't want someone up there who feels like they're out of place. They want you to do well, and they feel on edge if you're on edge.
Oh, because it's their night too, especially these days. It's not a cheap night to come out to invest in any kind of evening. Even a blockbuster film. You go out and go, well, Dwayne Johnson didn't really bring it, and he's wrecked my date night.
Yes.
It's like, well, that's $100 million production, but it doesn't matter because you've spent $80 on a babysitter.
Exactly.
So the added pressure. You come out, you expect a good night. So as an audience, I can empathise that. You want to know that your entertainers got chops.
Yeah. Hey, that could be a way of dealing with heckling. Just stuff your pockets full of babysitter coupons and just throw them back at people who heckle you to balance the equation.
There you go. Yeah, I can give you a number if a babysitter does it cheaper.
Now, you've travelled around a lot doing performing. Which cities have the best sense of humour that you've visited? Oh,
it's a tricky one. I don't know. It's going to sound like I'm playing favourites here. You know what? I like Liverpool.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Liverpool in the northwest of England. It took me a while to crack it out there because their perception of an Aussie was a laid-back, laconic, kind of, how you going type bloke. But I was always hitting the Scousers and the Manx, so Manchester and Liverpool, always hitting them a bit hard. I was coming out going, how you going? You up for a big night? And they're like, oh, yeah, mates. We're here, aren't we? What's wrong with you? So one night I stumbled upon success by just being exhausted. I went out on stage after a big day's drive, after a hard day's training, after being a father from whatever time the kids got up that morning.
Yeah.
And I've come on stage and my first line was an apologetic, fuck. That's my opening line. I didn't mean it because it's just, I think the step on stage is the straw that broke my back.
Yeah.
I was exhausted and I just went, and they just laughed. And I thought, okay. So I kind of tapped into their vibe there. So once you get underneath the Scousers, the Liverpudlians, you can really wind them up. But yeah, they will heckle. If they smell blood in the water, they'll circle and bite. But at the same time, if you can, throw a bridle on them, you can ride them up a hill.
Wow. All right. Now, you've done, obviously, stand-up. It's what you do. You've done an 8-day course equal to SAS training and got into the top 10, I'm told. You've climbed to the Everest base camp.
Yep.
Of these three, which one's more frightening?
Okay.
The comedy, the equivalent SAS, or the base camp of Everest?
Well, base camp, look, I could spend 3 months with you and get you ready to go to base camp.
Oh, right.
Anyone with minimum fitness could go there.
I know how you looked at me when you said minimum fitness. Yeah.
I looked and winked, people who are listening at home. We've also got, so next pecking order would be stand-up. Stand-up's fine. It's definitely being in the firing line, not literally, but being trained by trained killers, cold, hard, special forces operators, and just realising there is a next level of hardness.
Wow.
Something that these people harness their own fear for motivation. So learning some tricks and mindsets from the special forces kind of made everything else that was really tough in life, more palatable. so to speak. So it's like, all right, this really hurts. This really frightens me. This really sucks. I've got, well, I've been in a worse situation than this and just got through it. It was the day the guy said, pain, whether it's a fact or not, whether in a neurological sense is as truth or not, his pain is just an emotion.
Wow.
Which, whether neurologically it's a fact or not, I don't care. But what he's saying is it's a choice. Whether you're going to commit to it, are you going to let it stop you in your tracks, or is it a momentary thing? And then, so learning all this stuff was, and people ask me, what was it like training with the SAS? And I'm like, it was the best holiday I ever had.
Oh, what?
Not holidays like I'm kicking my heels up and getting a tan in Marbella, but I mean a holiday, a break from the norm, an absolute sea change, an eye-opener, just to kick up the arse / refresher I needed.
I wonder if that's what I saw on stage when I saw you MC. You know how at the beginning I mentioned there was this nuggety, obstinate, I'm here and I'm just chill. What you were just explaining then of the SAS mindset, has that hardened you, do you think, psychologically?
So. Well, look, there's a guy, and look him up, his name's Ant Middleton. He's the chief commander, he's the chief staff training officer in the SAS. So SAS Who Dares Wins was the TV program I was on in the UK. And this guy's now mega famous in the UK and further abroad because his training platform, but his thing, he was the first, he's known, and check the hashtag out, first man in. So his job and his squad would be the first man in through the doors of an insurgent's property, and he's talking about harnessing fear. So going out there and I guess breaching the audience, and you have to just hit them hard, and I guess it's definitely changed me. But I don't want to look. If you come on my gigs, I don't want to hurt you. Well, not in a painful way, but pain's just an emotion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
A happy one, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, talking of which, you've got 2 kids. Am I right? A girl and a boy?
That's right.
Yep. How much of your comedy sort of dips into that, revolves around being a responsible father and parenthood?
Yeah, I've got some. Look, they totally changed my life. I love them to bits. They're absolutely wonderful. My daughter Grace came along and saw I did an all ages show in Edinburgh in 2000 and when was it? Maybe about 2015. So she came along and saw me as a 5.5-year-old, and there's material about her in the show, and she loved it. I got halfway through the show and thought, oh no, I threw my daughter under the bus here for cheap laughs. And the only way I can sleep at night is those cheap laughs pay for her shoes. Yeah. So you go, okay, but now when she's in the room, as I'm doing the material on the fly, I'm thinking, hang on, will this damage her in the long run, hearing her father make fun of her in front of a group of people? But she was proud, she was into it, and afterwards she gave me a big hug, and it was like, great. So that's awesome. So she's seen
So
a
now
lot
all
of
bets
stuff.
are off.
Oh, well, yeah. Until she takes the stage. Or maybe, our joke in the house is she'll probably rebel and become an accountant or something like that. Yeah. But she's awesome. My son, he's 2.5. He hasn't seen any of my stuff yet, but he features in a lot of it. And what I say on stage, I do throw them under the bus for cheap laughs, but then throw it up to the audience. But I have to. Because if I just come out on stage and told you exactly how I felt, you just go, oh, he's a nice bloke. That's nice, but that doesn't make for an evening of comedy.
So you're exaggerating for comedic effect?
Yeah. Oh, and totally being a belligerent, horrible arsehole of a father for the sake of the joke. And then pull back, reveal, it's just a joke.
Strategically, or rather operationally, you mentioned before you did Raw, you got a bit of stage time up, you must have done some open mics or whatever. Some of us who've got kids have trouble getting out because every night you're away as a parent, you feel guilty, or the good ones do. Yeah. And so if someone's starting in comedy and they've got kids, what do you do? Is it a choice? Is it an either or just bloody hard to make it?
Ask yourself, do you want it? And then you put it in. That's what my wife and I do. We just tour the world. We've got 2 kids. They don't miss out on anything. What we don't want them to miss out in is later on the track, they have 2 parents that didn't follow their potential.
Okay.
Look at it that way. So you put it in, and then you make it the work about making that happen. Say yes, work it out afterwards.
Wow.
Because, if you're following your path, you're going to be a better you, and that will, of course, trickle down to being a better parent, I reckon. So, yeah, if you're sitting there going, oh, I can't, I don't know if I can, then you're already wasting energy where you could have just said yes and then started phoning around like a madman. I need to get someone to cover the kids. Because when you think about it, door to door, if you've got to do a gig, door to door, it's like you could do it in 90 minutes. If you ask someone who runs the gig, what time does the show start? What time does it finish? Would you mind if I just came in and zipped out? I've got kids. Everyone understands. It just comes down to the fact how much you want it. Like anything in life, really.
And of course, your wife's a performer too. What's the competition like at home? Are you competitive spirits?
Well, not as such. Like, we're really proud of each other and really congratulatory when, we both have wins, because we are a team. Our styles of humour differ a little bit. This is an interesting one. I'll run stuff on my wife, and all I need is a nod of approval. That'll work. When comedians are running material on other comedians, they just need it. Yeah, that'll work, and I trust you. And it's not ready, but I trust that you'll put the touches on it to make it fly. I'll run something by my wife, and she'll just go flat out, no. I'm like, I know I can make that work, but I've only twigged recently what it is. She's like, no, because she doesn't want the audience to think ill of me, because sometimes I try and throw the audience off.
Yeah.
So I can pivot off a misunderstanding or them not liking me. Like I said, I'll go on the back foot. I will put myself in negative territory to work back and to create the humour, whereas my wife doesn't want the audience to think I'm an asshole at any point. Whereas I'll happily exist as an asshole for half an hour if it gets us another holiday.
Wow. So she's looking at the long picture.
No, I think she's looking at the right in the present. She doesn't want anyone thinking of me as a jerk. Well, I'm thinking a long picture. I'm going, that's just a little bit of momentary pain that I'll push through, and at the end there'll be a reveal. I'm only joking, because that's the thing. A lot of people, these are just jokes. I don't really leave the kids in the car with the window cracked and the dog who's off its epilepsy medicine. We don't even have a dog. Okay. Bringing things around, writing process for you for comedy, because you riff a lot on stage. Yeah. Does that mean you're off scot-free? You don't have to do much prep, or do you have this disciplined back end to what you do when you're cranking out and really at the the coal face working out new jokes? What's inside your head? A bit of both. Like I'll write a lot of stuff live, record it, play it back. Especially when I'm on the cruise ships, you got a lot of time to listen to one set after the other. So you're tweaking stuff on the go, and if you have 2 or 3 performances on the same night, if you're really lucky, if you're getting in between gigs in a major city, or again 2 shows one night on a cruise, or many at a festival, you might tweak the same bit 4 times in the one evening to have it right for my late show, for example. But as far as back of house stuff goes, it's usually just, it could start as a little note in my phone, and then if I'm driving to a gig out loud in the car, if I need to get an accent or the timing of the delivery right, or if it's onomatopoeic, just to get the flow of it right, or the speed. But usually when it comes out, I'm reporting or regaling something. I just need to have the right kind of starting point. You know what I mean? If I'm ranting or if I'm upset about something, I just pick the right tone and stick in character, and it usually comes out like It's like at a dinner party, in front of new people. Let's look at it that way. You need to get your point across. You need to read the table, much like you read in the room. So I want to try and tell this, audience of 100, 150 people how I felt. I need to convey that effectively to all of them. So, yeah, broadcasting essentially.
And where can you test material without being on stage? Is it dinner parties? You basically just use new people as fresh meat?
Kind of. Or mum and dad are pretty funny. I'll do it. I'll just throw something in under the radar because mum and dad don't go, you're doing stuff. They'll just laugh. Whereas my wife will go, don't do a bit on me. Your mates will be like, don't do a bit on me. I go, fair enough. You're workshopping. Are you? Like, look, no. Well, where else can I do it? So they kind of keep you in check because they want the true you. They don't want work you, which the lines are very thin with a lot of us, because you want to have, it's how we have fun and stay upbeat, go into joke mode. Whereas, but then a lot of comedians like being sarcastic and rip the piss out of each other. That might be their side hobby. But I'm a clown. I'm an idiot. I'm a dickhead. And my wife calls me a dickhead, it's lovingly, and, but yeah, it's like, I do have, now, Tony Clifton, I love, it's Jim and Andy, when Jim Carrey played Andy
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Jim became Andy. It's amazing. This documentary, I watch it every now and then just to reaffirm my kind of ethos about something that Jim said in there about how he just let go, didn't go out there with any material, and just made his main thing just give of himself. He's the conduit to the enjoyment. So whatever he's doing is selfless and it's like 100% just out there, open for interpretation, just pure giving.
Sort of ego parked at the door.
Yeah, it's like you're watching an experience, and I love that. So that was one thing that gripped me about that. That piece of it's amazing, right?
There's risk in that, of course.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Risk is, if you've got nothing, what have you got to lose if you've let go of everything? That's essentially, he's relinquished anything.
Yeah.
So he's essentially untouchable, which I like, and fearless. So then, and the other part I like about this doco is Tony Clifton. I've got a soft spot for this guy. So when I'm on the cruise ships, when I'm by myself, when I'm bored, especially if I don't have a show for 5 days and I'm a ghost, I'm a solo traveller on a cruise ship. I'll go around for 4 or 5 days as a Scotsman.
Oh, that's priceless.
And because you could get away with a lot more as a Scotsman. You go, what's it? I don't know about you, but I don't like the food on this ship. I've been on the Norwegian cruise line about 4 or 5 times now. I've done 8 crossings, but this was that's shite. Where are you from, big man? And I could never go up to a stranger and go, so where are you from, mate? It's not in me, but as Gary...
Yeah.
I can go to go, so big man, where are you from? I noticed you're wearing Crocs. Did she buy them for you? Is that a choice you made? And then, because I don't drink anymore, Gary can't drink. But then I'll go and sing karaoke or karaoke.
As Gary.
As Gary. So, and that's what I did. But the problem was, I got through to the semi-finals on this cruise ship. But thankfully it was on the same night I was performing. So I couldn't, and I had to say sorry to the assistant cruise director because the ship's that big. They didn't know I was the feature comedian. I said, sorry, mate, look, I'm not really gay. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm the comedian. He goes, oh, you're a bastard. So that's that's what I do behind the scenes to work on accents, to work on bits and pieces of this. I'm working on what I do is I work a lot on my craft,
right? Rather
than chipping away in the salt mines on words or order of words. I'll work on the dude that's delivering them, because if I'm sharp, I'm in good form. Whatever I'm trying to argue fresh to every audience is different. Whatever I'm trying to get across fresh each night is going to come across in its best way possible that evening.
Wow. Where are you performing in the coming months that we might be able to keep our eyes open for?
Yeah, sure. Let's see.
Do we have to buy a liner, a cruise ticket to see you?
Yeah, you want to get on and see me on. There's a P&O comedy cruise out of Auckland. If there's any Kiwis that listen, there's the Kiwi Comedy Cruise, Kiwi Comedy Cruise Festival on the Pacific Explorer. That's going to be great. How's this? Because I love the Kiwis, and I'll throw Australia under the bus.
Wow.
Because I know we are America to them in a sense. We are the rednecks, the racists, the people that took that long for same-sex marriage, for white Australia policy. Homosexuality was only decriminalised in the late 70s, so we're draconian in some Kiwis' eyes. So I go over there. I wish we could be a bit more like them in that sense. They don't need to be allowed to be proud.
I heard someone say actually recently on the ABC, who was being interviewed, and they said the thing about it was in relation to the book festival, the Writers' Festival.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, they know they are nothing on the face of the planet. They're a blip, and so they've got freedom. Whereas in Australia, many of us think, "Oh, we're Australia.
Yeah, we've got to live up to."
Yeah, and
you're only as good as your last bowl, really, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And there's 6 per over, and there's 50 per game. So the Kiwis are just like that. So with that in mind, I'm on this Kiwi comedy festival cruise. So bear in mind, we're all stuck on a 2,000 capacity ship. So I've named my comedy show that people get to see in the guide that's in their cabin waiting for them. Mickey D's comedy show on the Kiwi comedy cruise is called Trevor Chappell's Apology.
Oh, wow.
So so hopefully they get an idea who I am from that. South Australia's sent me to say sorry.
Have you ever been dangled off one of those liners in a lifebuoy? Because that might happen to you.
Well, look, I hope I'm carried off. Oh, and there's an Aussie that gets it. But I like. So you catch me on the cruise ships. I'm doing the Sydney Comedy Store quite regularly. I'm up there, and the mic in hand on the 18th of July, doubling up with the Sydney Comedy Store. So yeah, plenty of stuff in Sydney. There's a great new project that my wife and I have teamed up on. Her concept, it's called Auntie Boo's Variety Diner. Now, she's Auntie Boo, and there's circus, there's burlesque, there's cabaret, and then I'm the stand-up comedy fix, but I'm also the guy that sells the tickets for the meat raffle. Okay?
I've seen this on your social media.
So it's an old-fashioned kind of... It's a variety show without all the wank and pretense. It's like, come and just see a show. It's working class. There's a meat raffle, for fuck's sake. Get involved. So I go out and bust my gut selling raffle tickets for a meat tray. Awesome meat tray, by the way. Yeah. It's Frank and Silver from Vegas Poultry in the Market give us the poultry, and Alexi Savas from Con's Fine Foods give us the other platter. Great food. So I'm selling the tickets. Then I finally come on stage, and my wife's big production at the Adelaide Cab Fringe. There's about 200 people in the room, and I've said, "G'day," and you hear the audience go, "Oh, it's the meat guy."
Wow.
And I'm like, I just had to laugh. And then, you know what? I never get prima donna. I thought, I'm going to push back here and see if a bit of swagger gets me off the mark. Because Aussies don't like anyone browbeating or, tub thumping. Well, none of the good ones do anyway. So I'm like, really? The meat guy? I've been nominated for the Adelaide Fringe Award 4 times. I've fucking won it twice. I've toured the world. I've done a gig up on Everest. I've done all this. And in the back of my head, I've gone, this better have a payoff, mate. You sound like an asshole. And then I've just listed off my CV, and then I've gone, and all you recognise me for is the fucking meat guy. Well, thank you very much and good night.
All right, how did that go down?
No, they laughed. I thought, no, I'm just joking. I need your love. I'm sorry. Look, the meat's pretty good, isn't it? So it's just, that's really exciting. So we'll be doing more of those around local sports clubs and stuff.
Magnificent. 2 quick fire ones.
Yeah, go.
Do we do comedy because we need the love? And is that dangerous?
Yes and no. We might do it because of love, and what's dangerous? What's dangerous about that? But some people just do it because that's the kind of beast they are. I'm a clown. I like it's my gift, so I just keep out doing it, and I love it.
Other one, you mentioned you throw Australia under the bus. I've noticed there's a difference between some comedians. Some don't mind punching down and having a go at the ones at the bottom. A lot of just hate that, and they'll only punch up.
Yep.
Where do you sit on that?
I'm a clown. It's me. I always lose.
Right.
And that way I can punch anyone, because in the end, I'm the one on the floor. It always comes back to me. I'm the idiot. I'm the clown.
All right. Now, on that note, thank you. Some great news. You're going to be our headline act for the August 2019 course of the School of Hard Knock Knocks.
I can't wait.
Jerry Massey's the lead teacher. He likes you.
Yeah, Jerry's awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. That's August 25 to 29 at the Duke of Brunswick in Gilbert Street. So looking forward. It's going to be a pleasure working with you. I hope lots of people come along.
Yeah, please.
The Thursday night's your big night, but you'll come and chat to the students on the Monday.
Totally.
Final, where can people book you? If they really need some more Mick Dwyer in their life, where can they find you?
Yeah, just fine. Go to Mick and Boo Present on Facebook. That's where you can get me locally. Or if you've got a big corporate inquiry, ring A-List Entertainment. It's my big Sydney agents. Ask for Karen.
Okay, and just one disappointing thing. I hope you don't mind me saying this. We're sitting here at OTR Roadhouse, and we were hoping, because we haven't asked permission, we were hoping to get tossed out. We haven't been.
I know, but I think my car's being towed. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'll go and get some video of that.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Mick.
Cheers.